Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the video. What a fabulous day in the Overwatch League, guys. It was absolutely awesome. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, because I'm bringing Overwatch League content to you guys daily. Yesterday was another amazing day in the Overwatch League, and I feel like I say this every video now, because every day is just so good. On Wednesday we had a Game 5, on Thursday we had 2 Game 5s, and yesterday we had 2 Game 5s again. Out of 9 sets this week, we've had 5 of them go all the way, the whole distance, and it's been awesome to see. Holy crap, these teams are fighting back and forth. What's so exciting now is that the ones we don't expect are winning, like the New York Excelsior losing to the Philadelphia Fusion, and then the London Spitfire losing to Boston Uprising. And yesterday, the New York Excelsior, after losing to Philly, went out and beat Seoul Dynasty, the undisputed best team so far in the Overwatch League. Is no longer the Seoul Dynasty. You have to say it's the New York Excelsior. Even though they lost to the Fusion, they beat Seoul Dynasty, and that's just that, you know what I mean? Oh, it's just been an incredible week. And then the LA showdown, that game was insane. I'm just going off right now about how amazing the week's been so far. Definitely the best week of the Overwatch Leagues, hands down. I don't think anybody can sit here and disagree with that. Today, the first game was incredible. New York went back and forth with Seoul Dynasty. You really honestly didn't know who was going to win the set until the end. We'll get into that one. Then after, it was the Shanghai Dragons against the Philadelphia Fusion. And at first, it looked like Philly was just going to stomp the Shanghai Dragons. It was like, oh man, I guess the Shanghai Dragons still do suck. They aren't improving, you know, maybe Seoul wasn't trying. And then boom, Shanghai on Oasis, they turned up, baby. They won that map. Then they won Junkertown and had an extremely close Game 5, and we'll get into that one too in a little bit. And then the last game, the Dallas Fuel and the San Francisco Shock. Dallas finally on the board, getting that win that they needed desperately. And it was a crazy game. It was super close. San Francisco came out firing. Looked like they had the win in the bag. Absolutely tearing it up on their attack. Again, I'm trying to get into the games, but I gotta realize I'm still in the intro here. So that game was incredible. We'll get into that one more. And of course tomorrow we got some good games as well. The Dallas Fuel and Boston Uprising. This game just got very, very interesting now that the Dallas Fuel got that win today. I predicted if they got this win, then they could beat the Boston Uprising. But again, I made that prediction before the Boston Uprising beat the London Spitfire. So who the hell knows now, man? I mean, this could be going 5 games as well. Either of them could take it. It's going to be insane. Dream Casper Striker on fire lately. Taimu looked great today. Effect finally showing that he can be an extremely consistent Widowmaker. And then the LA Gladiators versus Houston Outlaws in the last game tomorrow. That one looks exciting. We're in for a treat tomorrow. This is hands down the best week of the Overwatch League. The numbers show today we're at like 150k viewers almost non-stop throughout the set. We never went under 100k. So it's looking good, guys. Holy crap, this has been a long intro. Let's go ahead and jump into those games here. Starting off with the powerhouse Korean battle, boys. We had Seoul Dynasty, New York Excelsior, going head-to-head on the first map, Eichenwald. Now, this was a pretty close map. Both teams showed a sign of strength, holding on second, but New York Excelsior just a little bit better. And I was a bit surprised. They came out firing and they took Eichenwald. I did not expect them to take this map. And leading into Lunar Horizon Colony, I was like, all right, New York came to play. Let's see what they can do on 2CP here. And honestly, on this map, New York looked way better early on. They had this map wrapped up and won early on with a almost 4-minute advantage on attack. But Seoul Dynasty fought their way back and found a way to hold New York Excelsior on the first point for nearly 3 minutes to close the map out. Now, this took us to Oasis, and by many people's surprise, New York did not sub Pinen. And this could have been due to a few reasons. One being, I think they were playing mind games. Of course, Seoul Dynasty expected, alright, they're going to sub Pinen for this Oasis game. Let's expect that McCree. I think New York knew that they were going to plan to shut down Pine's McCree. So instead, they left Libro in, and they ran the Pharah, something that New York really hasn't done so far in the season. And that probably threw away most plans that Seoul Dynasty had for this. You can't blame Seoul though. If I was Seoul Dynasty, there's no way I would have expected them not to run Pine, because Pine so far in the regular season has been spectacular on Koth. He's absolutely ran the table and destroyed every single team almost single-handedly. So you can't blame him for that. And that's just good preparation by New York there. And then in map 4, we went to Junkertown. And this was a sick hold by Seoul Dynasty. They've looked pretty lackluster so far on Junkertown, but they found a way to dig deep when down in the series 2-1 to first hold the New York Excelsior and force a map 5, which is very impressive. I didn't expect that. I thought it was done. New York was going to take the set 3-1. It was over, packed their bags, but Seoul Dynasty persevered and they forced that game 5. And once again on Koth, they decided not to sub in Pine, and it proved to be the right move for them because they took this map 2-0. And that's basically it for this set. Kudos to the New York Excelsior, now the undisputed best team in the Overwatch League. It was also so cool seeing how thrilled and excited the New York players were about taking down Seoul. I mean, probably one of the most hyped victories by the players I've seen so far. And damn, what a great set that was. Congratulations to NYXL, probably now the undisputed kings of the Overwatch League. We'll see how long it can last though, because they do have the London Spitfire coming up soon, and of course Seoul Dynasty will get their revenge, more than likely in the playoffs. Now moving on to the second set, the Shanghai Dragons versus the Philadelphia Fusion. This one was exciting. As I mentioned in my intro, I was a little scared after the first 2 maps when the Shanghai Dragons kind of got rolled. I was like, oh man, maybe they haven't improved as much as I thought they did, you know. Maybe people were right about the Seoul Dynasty not taking their games that seriously. But then we got to Oasis, and this is where things got spicy, man. The Shanghai Dragons turned up. Oh, and also, before I get any more detail into this, you guys are probably going to say, oh, well, they ran Hotba and Dayfly for these matches. It's not their best roster. Personally, I don't think swapping out 2 players from the Philadelphia Fusion roster is going to drastically change the results. Now, maybe if the original 6 that we've seen mainly from the Philadelphia Fusion was in, they could have won 3-1 or something like that. But still, you got to give credit where credit is due. The Shanghai Dragons showed up. Prior to this week, nobody expected them to even come close to getting a map off of any team. Now, after week 3, they've gotten a map and almost 2 maps off Seoul Dynasty, and then 2 against the Philadelphia Fusion. It's really showing how much the Dragons have been practicing and really want to improve and win. Their dedication to the grind is very admirable. And I think if the Dragons continue on this path, they're going to be a pretty strong team in this league. Yeah, probably not playoff material, but they're going to be competing with the middle of the pack teams. They literally just did today. So that's very exciting to see. As for the maps, you know, Eichenwald was a complete wash. 2CP was sort of close. Not really that close though. And then Oasis, that was a great map, dude. Each team going back and forth, both winning team fights. Definitely probably one of the better maps of the series. Now, what actually gives me a lot of confidence about the Shanghai Dragons team and why I know they're improving a lot and can keep improving is because of these holds that they have. First, in their match against Seoul Dynasty, they held Dorado second for nearly 5 minutes. And then against Philadelphia Fusion yesterday on Junkertown, they held the 3rd point for, again, 5 minutes. Which is super impressive. It is not easy to get holds like that, guys, especially against world-class teams. So seeing them being able to do this gives me a lot of confidence that they're not only going to continue to get better, but that they can compete with these middle-of-the-pack teams and potentially make a push for the playoffs. I'm not going to say they'll make the playoffs because, you know, it's too early for that, but they can definitely compete with the middle-of-the-pack teams that are in the running for the playoffs, as long as they keep improving. Unfortunately, they did fall short there on Li Jiang. It was very close. But at the end of the day, Philadelphia Fusion were the better team. But again, I don't think anybody expected the Dragons to come out and perform like that, especially after the Philadelphia Fusion just got done beating New York Excelsior. So I tip my hats off to the Shanghai Dragons. Keep improving, guys. That's what we want to see. Now, moving on to the very last set of the day, the San Francisco Shock taking on the Dallas Fuel. And I specifically remember thinking during that Eichenwald game on San Francisco's second attack where they had 4 minutes, I was like, man, this is just unfortunate, you know. Dallas Fuel still don't look very good, and San Francisco Shock might just run away with this set. But by many surprise, dude, the Dallas Fuel busted out that 4-minute hold on Eichenwald first point off the back of Effects McCree, dude. He popped off. He went bonkers, dude. Holy crap. Effect, the star of this map, probably the star of the set, played out of his mind. And honestly, if it wasn't for him, I saw this series snowballing into San Francisco Shock's favor. So big ups to Effect, putting his team on his back. But in general, though, still, the Dallas Fuel did look pretty good in this game. Another thing to note about this set that I found very interesting is the Dallas Fuel didn't run Taimu at all. Even on maps that they were running heavy Roadhog compositions, they had Mickey in playing the Roadhog instead. Which, you know, I think Taimu is one of the best Roadhogs in the league, so I would have expected him to be playing those maps. But hey, it did work out for the Dallas Fuel in the end of the day. I'm just saying I thought that was surprising, and kudos to them for still being able to get the win without Taimu. Mickey looked pretty solid in this game, a lot better than he has been before. You know, he's making a lot of mistakes so far in the season. And yeah, he definitely looked better this game. Now, the Dallas Fuel did take the series 3-0. It was very close, though, still. And if San Francisco made like 1 or 2 less mistakes, they easily could have taken the set. So I wouldn't say yet that the Dallas Fuel are back. If they were to win a game, it would have definitely been this one. But now today, in, I don't know, probably 2 hours when this video goes live, they're going to have to play the Boston Uprising. And I'd expect that the Dallas Fuel probably prepared more for the San Francisco Shock. And after Boston's win against London Spitfire, you know, it's hard to pick the Dallas Fuel over them still, even though they did get the set. And I did say that if the Dallas Fuel beat the San Francisco Shock early on in this week, that they would also beat the Boston Uprising. But that was before the Boston Uprising beat London Spitfire, which was just not expected. And then going into Lunar Horizon Colony, San Francisco Shock took another early lead. They had about a 2-minute edge going into the second attack for each team. And the San Francisco Shock ended up getting a pretty good hold on their second defense. They only really gave up first point. And then moving on to San Francisco's attack, they had 4 minutes to cap first. And just like Eichenwald, the Dallas Fuel came in clutch with a crazy hold out of nowhere. Now, I don't know if the San Francisco Shock just collapsed in these clutch moments where they just had so much time to cap points and win the game. I don't know if it was more of them throwing or Dallas Fuel just stepping up and performing when they needed to. Effect again looked really good. And that's basically it for Lunar Horizon Colony. Just like Eichenwald, San Francisco Shock, one less mistake. They could have taken the map, but they didn't, and they fell into a 0-1 hole where they very easily could have been up 2-0. And after this loss on Lunar Horizon, I knew that the mentality and the morale of the San Francisco Shock was not going to be good going into the second half. Of course, they would have the opportunity to reset that mentality with the halftime break, but it's just crushing. As a player, losing like that is just absolutely crushing. And I'm not going to say that I knew they were going to lose the set from there on, but I definitely didn't expect them to bounce back. So I wasn't surprised when Dallas Fuel just looked completely better than the San Francisco Shock on Ilios and Junkertown. That's just what I expected because San Francisco was just beat up mentally and they couldn't handle the 2 losses. The way they lost was brutal. I can't blame them. It was tough. But again, as an Overwatch League player and a pro in the game, you got to be able to try to bounce back from that stuff. You don't see Tom Brady and the New England Patriots going down 21-3 at halftime in the Super Bowl last year against the Falcons and giving up, you know. They fought back and they proved they were the best in the world and won. So, you know, that's the mentality you need to be able to do. Again, like I said, as an ex-pro player, I don't really blame them though because it is tough. It's really hard to come back from that. Even if you're trying, you know, it's in everybody's mind that, wow, we kind of blew this. So, GG's there. Dallas Fuel, congratulations on that win. They really needed it, so I'm happy for them. But I don't know if this means that they're back, guys. I think tomorrow we'll really be able to tell. If they can take out the Boston Uprising, the Dallas Fuel are back. But depending on the fashion of the match, if it's close, then, you know, maybe they're back still. If it's not close, then that's pretty bad for the Dallas Fuel. The Boston Uprising looked pretty good, and I'm excited to see this match. It's going to be the first one tomorrow, so we're going to get it right away. That's basically it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one, boys. Peace.